The restaurant was packed that evening, the warm lights reflecting off polished tables as customers chatted over their meals. But near the entrance, something unusual was happening. 3 bikers walked in, large men with leather jackets, heavy boots, and the roaring sound of their motorcycles still echoing outside. Conversations in the diner suddenly grew quiet. Some customers stared nervously, others whispered. Then the manager leaned toward the young waitress and said in a cold voice, "Don't serve them." But what happened next would cost her the job she desperately needed, and shock the entire town the very next day. Her name was Emily Carter, a 24-year-old waitress who had moved to the small Canadian town just a year earlier. Life hadn't been easy. After losing her father, Emily worked 2 jobs to support herself and help her younger brother finish college. The diner was her main source of income, and she tried every day to keep a smile on her face, no matter how hard life felt. Emily looked toward the bikers sitting quietly at the corner booth. They hadn't caused any trouble. In fact, they looked tired, like men who had been on the road for hours. "Why?" she asked the manager softly. "Because people like that scare customers," the manager replied. "If you serve them, you're done here." Emily felt her chest tighten. She glanced around the diner. Some customers were clearly uncomfortable, but the bikers themselves were simply sitting there patiently, menus in hand. After a moment of silence, Emily grabbed 3 glasses of water and walked toward their table. "Good evening," she said with a gentle smile. "What can I get for you?" The tallest biker looked surprised. He had a thick beard and kind eyes hidden beneath a worn leather cap. "Are you sure?" he asked quietly. "Looks like your boss doesn't want us here." Emily nodded. "Everyone deserves to eat." The men exchanged looks, then ordered simple meals, burgers and coffee. But just minutes later, the manager stormed across the restaurant. "I told you not to serve them." He shouted loud enough for the entire diner to hear. Customers turned their heads as Emily stood there, holding the order pad. "I'm sorry," she said calmly. "They're customers." "Not anymore," the manager snapped. "You're fired." Gasps filled the restaurant. Emily felt her throat tighten, but she refused to cry in front of everyone. She placed the order pad on the counter, untied her apron, and walked toward the door. As she passed the biker's table, the tall man spoke softly. "Miss, I'm sorry." Emily forced a small smile. "It's not your fault." And just like that, she walked out into the cold night air, jobless. That night, Emily barely slept. She kept wondering how she would pay rent or send money to her brother. The diner job had been her safety net. But the next morning, something unexpected happened. When Emily woke up, her phone was flooded with messages. Friends, strangers, even local reporters. Confused, she opened one message that simply said, "Turn on the news." Emily switched on the television. And there it was. A video from the diner had gone viral. One of the customers had recorded the entire moment, the manager yelling, Emily standing her ground, and the quiet bikers watching everything. But the shocking part came after. The video showed the tall biker stepping outside after Emily left. Someone had asked him why he looked so upset. His answer stunned everyone. "My daughter was treated like that once," he said in the video. "She worked as a waitress too. People judged her before they knew her story." He paused, his voice heavy. "She passed away 3 years ago. That girl inside reminded me of her." By the time Emily finished watching, tears were streaming down her face. But the story didn't end there. Later that day, Emily heard a loud rumbling outside her apartment building. Motorcycles. Dozens of them. She stepped onto the balcony and froze. More than 50 bikers had gathered outside. In the center stood the tall biker from the diner. When Emily came downstairs, he removed his helmet and smiled. "My name's Jack," he said. "And we heard what happened." Emily looked around nervously. "I didn't mean to cause trouble." "You didn't," Jack replied. "You showed respect when nobody else would." Then he handed her an envelope. Inside was something Emily never expected. A job offer. But not from another diner. It was from a local community foundation, one that Jack and his biker group supported. They ran charity programs for struggling families, food drives, and youth mentorship. "We need someone with heart," Jack said. "Someone who treats people like people." Emily looked up, stunned. "But why me?" Jack smiled. "Because yesterday, When everyone else judged us, you didn't. Over the next few days, the story spread across the town. Customers stopped going to the diner that had fired Emily, while people praised her courage online. And Emily, she started a new job that meant far more than serving food. She helped organize charity meals, community events, and support programs for people who needed kindness the most. Months later, Emily stood at a large community gathering surrounded by families, volunteers, and bikers who had become like family to her. Sometimes the world judges people by how they look. Leather jackets, dirty boots, or even a waitress uniform. But one small act of kindness can change everything. And the girl who was fired for serving bikers, she ended up serving something far greater. Respect, humanity, and hope.